All right, so we're tackling something pretty big this time. How to teach English to those little humans who, let's be honest, probably think grammar is this type of jam.
Right. And good luck getting them to sit still for a vocabulary quiz.
Exactly. But luckily, we're diving into a video today by Norma, who's this amazing ESL teacher, and she's broken down teaching English to kids into 6, like, golden rules.
And trust me, even if you're not a teacher, you'll want to steal some of these ideas.
Totally, because who doesn't want to communicate better, right? And Norma's first tip is all about keeping it simple. She's big on repetition, but not just like parrot style.
No, it's more about weaving those same phrases into different situations.
Yeah.
So, like, she'll greet her students with, "Hi, kids, how are you?" But then later it's, "Hi, kids, what's up?" Or, "How's it going?"
Oh, that's clever. Same message, but it keeps things interesting.
Exactly. It's
Mhm.
like their little brains are like sponges soaking up all those variations.
It reminds me of when you learn a new word as an adult and suddenly you hear it everywhere.
Yes, repetition is key, especially for language learning.
And speaking of keeping things lively, Norma's second and third tips are all about bringing the energy. She says you gotta be fun and dramatic and that your voice is your secret weapon.
Oh, I love her teaching style. She uses this example of teaching the word spider. And instead of just showing a picture, she goes all out, wide eyes, dramatic movements like, "Oh my gosh, kids, look, a spider. How many legs does it have?"
Okay, I can already picture it, and I bet the kids are hooked.
Oh, absolutely. Because she's tapping into that power of engagement.
Right, like you'll remember a funny story way longer than a boring lecture.
Exactly. And that's where the voice comes in. Norma says you could have the most amazing activity planned, but if you're delivering it in monotone,
It's game over.
pretty much. She actually uses the word soup as an example, like
Yeah.
whisper it, shout it, sing it, make it a game.
So simple, but so smart. Because at that age, playing with language is how they learn best, right?
Exactly. It takes the pressure off and makes it fun for everyone.
And that actually reminds me, Norma's next tip is about classroom management, which might not seem like it fits, but
Totally does. Because think about what's classroom management really about? Setting boundaries,
Right.
Creating a structured environment.
yeah.
And those are things kids need, whether they're in the classroom or, your living room.
That's such a good point. It's not just about, like, having a silent room, but more about creating a space where everyone feels respected.
Exactly. And one of the techniques Norma uses, you ready for this? It's called zip it.
Okay, that sounds a little intense, but I'm intrigued.
Oh, it's actually really cute. She'll say, zip it, zip it, zip it. And the kids all go, "My lips are zipped."
Oh my gosh, I love that. It's like a game, but it also teaches them to, like, regulate their impulses.
Right. And that's a skill they'll use their whole lives, not just in school.
It's true. And speaking of letting kids use their voices, Norma's next tip is all about making them the stars of the show with student-centered learning.
Which, again, sounds kind of jargony, but it just means shifting the focus from the teacher being the one with all the answers to creating a space where kids are actively involved in the learning process.
So less lecturing, more like collaborating.
Exactly. Yeah. And one of the examples Norma gives is with storybooks. So instead of just reading it straight through, she'll stop and ask questions like, "What do you think will happen next?"
Hmm.
Or, "What would you do if you were the main character?"
Oh, that's so good. Because it keeps them engaged, but they're also practicing their language skills without even realizing it.
Exactly. It's like sneaking in a grammar lesson while they think they're just having fun.
The best kind of lesson.
Yeah.
And that brings us to Norma's final tip, which I think is so important, and it's about being sensitive. It feels like this one goes beyond just teaching English.
It absolutely does. You see, this tip reminds us that every child is on their own unique journey. What might seem easy for one child can be a mountain to climb for another.
And that's where patience and encouragement come in.
Exactly. Norma tells this really touching story about a little one who is struggling to identify the color red. Instead of correcting him or moving on, she found a way to gently guide him all while making him feel supported and seen.
It's like the thing, it's not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up. And having someone there to cheer you on makes all the difference.
It really does, because ultimately, learning a language isn't just about memorizing words and grammar rules. It's about building confidence, fostering a love of communication, and creating a space where kids feel safe to take risks and, yes, even make mistakes.
It's about realizing that those mistakes are actually opportunities for growth. And sometimes the most powerful thing we can do as educators, as parents, as humans, is to meet those stumbles with compassion and understanding.
Couldn't agree more. Norma's video reminded me of something I read recently. A researcher was talking about how children's brains are wired for language acquisition, but they need the right environment to flourish.
Kind of like a plant needing sunlight and water.
Exactly. And that environment isn't just about having the right flashcards or worksheets. It's about creating a space filled with warmth, encouragement, and genuine human connection.
Because at the end of the day, kids learn best when they feel seen, heard, and valued for exactly who they are.
And that's a powerful reminder for all of us, no matter what age we are. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Norma's incredible tips, I want to leave you with this thought.
I'm all ears.
Let's approach teaching English to children not just as a task to be completed, but as a chance to spark joy, ignite curiosity, and nurture a lifelong love of learning.
Beautifully said. And to our listeners, whether you're a seasoned educator or just starting your journey into the world of teaching English to kids, remember this. You've got this. Embrace the messiness, celebrate the small wins, and never underestimate the power of your passion and dedication to make a world of difference. And who knows, you might even learn a thing or two along the way. This has been an amazing deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those conversations flowing.